So last week I talked about qi, and I said the word qi in Chinese have infinite meaning. The one that we're most interested is when we talk about qi as in breathing. Qi as in circulation of the blood which carries oxygen, but circulation of the energy. And then, so we always do Yi Jing Jing, which is a exercise that was passed down by Bodhidharma, the first patriarch of Zen meditation. But we will alternate with other forms of exercise only because we want to save some time for discussions. So today the exercise is more about unblocking the energy lines, the different energy points. So the question is, where does that energy come from? And why is it that in Western medicine we never talk about that energy? Whereas in the Chinese or Asian in general, we seem to know what it is, even though we don't quite explain it. I find it very interesting. I find it extremely interesting because I was born in Macau. And Macau was the first colony of the European power, which was like 400 years ago. And Macau was actually the last piece of land, Asian land, that was returned back to Asian hands. So the question is, what happened in those 400 years? Because we always talk about China being the center of invention, the center of civilization, but somehow something happened, like the world just flipped upside down, and all of a sudden all the European powers become very strong, and they come to conquer Asia. And it's not just one country. You have the Portugals, and they're not just Macau. The Portuguese went to Japan, they went to Malaysia, the Dutch, the French, the British, the Americans, everybody came. So what happened? What happened was that the Europeans discovered the interaction of electricity and magnetism. Until then, electricity and magnetism are two separate phenomena. Electricity is when you have lightning, and magnetism is when you discover magnets, right? Permanent magnets. And it was in the middle of the 19th century, I believe, that the Europeans, the British and the French, discovered the interaction between electricity and magnetism. And now they know how to, number one, generate electricity. Number two, they revolutionized communications. You have telegram, telephone. And in fact, nowadays, everything we see, all the way from integrated circuits to 5G cell phone, are a result of the discovery of the interaction between electricity and magnetism. What's ironic is that the Europeans never discovered the coupling between electricity and magnetism in the human body. We completely ignore that. Even today, people don't understand that there is a strong coupling. For example, when you sit, we like to sit in this either half lotus and full lotus positions. And we talk about the yin and the yang, and we talk about how that promotes energy in your body. What's going on there? It is in fact the coupling between electricity and magnetism. Simply, when you take your hand, there's blood flow. Blood carries iron. Iron is conductive. So when you talk about blood flow, you're talking about electricity. When you have electricity, there's a magnetic field. And when you sit in the full lotus position, the heart works on one side and the other. It is in fact magnetic coupling. It is in fact one side of the body coupling energy to another side of the body and vice versa. So when we talk about qi, at the very minimum, is the enhancement of the magnetic energy in the body. When we talk about our mind, our internal energy, we talk about discovery of the internal energy. It's about getting skill. That's why we say kusala, skillful. It's about learning the technique so that we can understand the emotional state, The emotional states are like the black cloud covering the sun. And if you can push away the black cloud, the sun reveal itself, that's our internal energy. That's all that is positive about us. So what is that black cloud? The black cloud is also magnetic. Because whenever we have a thought, what we call the mental volition, is electricity. At the same time, when electricities occur, there's magnetics. And the magnetics leave behind an imprint. That's what we know about electromagnetism, is that whenever you have electricities, you magnetize something. And the magnetization is the memory. That's what we call karma. But the karma turns around because we also know that permanent magnetism is what it takes to generate electricities, right? So the karma is both a result of a mental action as well as the driver for the next mental action. So when we meditate, it's really to understand that karma and how the interaction of that with our mind and learning how to push away those black clouds. So everything that we do here has something to do with electromagnetic interactions, but interestingly, that is never learned by the Westerners. But yet, when they learn electromagnetic interactions, they conquer the world. So I believe that the time comes for all humans to conquer the world by conquering ourselves. When I interviewed Chuck Kao, the gentleman who is now in Taiwan, he quoted Dao Jing. And he says, the one who discovers himself is wise, or something like that. And the one who can conquer himself is mighty. So I like to have discussions on our practice and how we go about discovering ourselves and go about conquering ourselves. Okay? Thank you so much.